Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. I'm gonna wait until a few people fill in here. I'm honestly gonna start talking as soon as like the number hits like 4 or 5. Because to me, this is amazing news, and I think that it should be that way for every officer who's done this. So you know, murder of George Floyd. Yeah, that like that police department can take some notes from the Atlanta Police Department, being that it didn't take 5, 5, 6, 7 days for this to get handled. He was immediately fired. The officer that was there with him is on leave, and I haven't heard anything about it being paid leave yet. So that's amazing news. But yeah, he will be facing life, or he'll be facing the death penalty, which he deserves. In the video, and I watched it. I watched it multiple times, multiple angles. I watched the one that was 40 plus minutes, and I watched the one that was over an hour long. That man literally gave him the longest sobriety test ever. And every now and then he would have an intermission where he starts asking him redundant questions, like the same questions over and over and over again. Even after they knew from the start that the man was clearly drunk, and he kept trying to get the man to admit it. For what? He's drunk. You're a cop. He doesn't want to get a DUI or a DWI. He's in a rental car. He doesn't want that rental car to get towed because he has to pay for that car to get out of towing, and then he'll have charges for damages done to the car because, yes, when your car gets towed, it's damaged. He didn't want to have to go through all that. He didn't want to be kept from going home, so he lied. The other officer made it seem like, oh, okay, as long as you get out of this line and you go park your car over there, you'll be okay. You'll be okay if you just go over there. While you're at it, go ahead and take a nap. He literally told him, yeah, just go park your car over there and take a nap. Just want to make sure you're okay. He went back to the car multiple times, even after Rayshard did what the cop asked him to do, and still called in another officer. Now, when the other officer came, he had a completely different attitude and a different tone than the primary officer, the initial officer, the one that pulled up to the scene in the first place. He was a little more stern. He was a little more uptight, and he seemed irritated with Rayshard. The first officer seemed to have a good amount of patience until the other officer got there. So when I say that that man was waiting for a reason to kill him, he was clearly waiting for a reason to kill him. Let me read this comment. Did you catch the part where he covered his hand on the body cam while they were giving CPR for a good 10 minutes? That was shady. The way the officers acted was shady too. Exactly. And then the funny thing is like whenever the tumbling happened, there was like a lot of spinning, way too much spinning on that camera. And then next thing you know, it honestly looked as if he took the body camera off. It didn't look as if it fell. That camera did not look as if it fell at all. It looked like he manually took that camera off and he left it there. And just in the nick of time, because right after the camera ends up on the ground and you can't see anything, Rayshard is shot 3 times. And it's funny to me because a Caucasian male took a taser off an officer and tried to use it on him. And instead, he was tased himself. But he was not shot 3 times. And I guarantee you, he was not given a 30-minute sobriety test. It was clear that the man was drunk. Every time I've been pulled over and a cop thought I was drunk or anything like that, and usually they never really just think you're drunk. They just wait outside of parties when you're in college. They wait outside of parties and they catch people that are leaving and give them the sobriety test. The first thing they did was give me the breathalyzer. That was the first thing they asked. Would you mind taking a breathalyzer? Yes, I understand the sobriety test entails more than just a breathalyzer, but not for 30 minutes long, guys. That was obsessive, very obsessive and unnecessary. And the fact that that camera did not capture the shooting, that bothers me. It bothers me a great deal. That cop had intentions. He had ulterior motives. So the other cop that, and then on top of that, he walks up to the body and says, "I got him," and he kicks him. Rayshard was a complete gentleman the whole time. Rayshard, I mean, he was a complete gentleman the whole time. Rayshard was a complete gentleman the whole time. It wasn't until he realized, oh, they're placing me in handcuffs, that he tried to run. Yeah, you never once said I'm under arrest. You never once gave me my like told me what I'm being arrested for, gave me my rights or anything like that. Nothing. And I don't want to hear anybody say that it's not necessary to use the Miranda rights for public intoxication or a DWI, because it is. It's something you go to court for. You have to go to court for that. I like my homeboy has had his rights read to him after a petty theft charge. They didn't render aid to him right away. They were worried only about union reps, so callous and cold. Exactly. Like the fact that they made sure that those union reps were out there and that an abundance of officers came out there before even getting a freaking ambulance there is what bothers me. There was like 8 or 9 cops out there, maybe 10. And the one that went and picked up the camera to bring it back to old buddy, who purposely took the camera off, had to tell them, "Hey, can you tell that ambulance to park right there?" And he like, I commend him on checking them on that, because he said, "Y'all are out here running around like chickens with your heads cut off. Why? Why were all those officers out there? The man had already been shot and killed. The first people that should have been on that scene after they murdered him was the ambulance." And then I hate how it's always the cop that does the shooting that tries to do CPR. Like almost as if to say, "Well, I tried to bring him back." No, you didn't. Because you wouldn't have shot him in places that you knew would kill him. Shot that man in cold blood. And he just wanted to go home. He just wanted to go home. And you know what I think this all is? It's conspiracy. And I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist. Maybe I am one, but it's kind of funny how whenever the George Floyd protests all went from being hectic and violent to being calm and peaceful, and the media had nothing to talk about, here you have it. Another cold-blooded murder. So now that Wendy's that it happened outside of is on fire. People are blocking off major highways and protesting once again. People are worked up once again. They want this so that they can enforce martial law. Right now, President Trump is making threats to do certain things, but he does not want to. They are trying to force his hand to apply martial law. Guess what happens after that? They know where all of us are. Once martial law is enforced, they all know we're at our registered addresses. Guess what? We have our 4 walls. Where can we go? If police decide to surround a building or the military decides to surround the building, where in the heck am I going to go without being gunned down? I have to stay inside. So once they secure the perimeter, guess what comes after that? The vaccine. The vaccine manufactured by Bill Gates, someone who admittedly tests his vaccines on children from third world countries. He literally used the phrase, take them by the arm and shove the needle in. He said it on national television. The guy has no shame in what he's doing whatsoever. And I wouldn't be surprised if that chip is in that vaccine. Yeah, Detrell Levert, you are correct. When the cops shoot someone for some reason, they should aim for the legs so they don't kill them. Exactly. Like, if I get hit in the knee, I'm going down. When I played football, me getting hit in the knee made me go down. When I ran track, me tweaking my knee made me go down. Me pulling my hamstring made me go down, or at least stop running. It does not take much to stop somebody from running. Why do you have to kill him because he ran? This world will be a lot different if we don't get a better president or police brutality doesn't stop. And the crazy thing is, like, yeah, Donald Trump, he sucks as a president. But at the end of the day, the one thing I commend him on is refusing to mandate those vaccines. And the optimist in me wants to believe that he knows what's in those vaccines, and that's why he's not letting it happen. Hillary Clinton is out here killing kids and drinking their blood for adrenochrome. So if she were to be president right now, I would be fearing for my child right now. She's done it in New York. In New York. Within the country, she has kidnapped and trafficked kids. And why the heck is a pedophile over Amber Alerts? What sense does that make? Shooting at the legs doesn't guarantee it won't be fatal. That's right. That's right. But at the end of the day, shooting somebody in their upper back guarantees it will be fatal. They have hollow tips, bro. Hollow tips enter the body and explode. They enter the body and explode. That's death, period. You cannot have something in the upper region of your body and explode inside of you and live. You got your lungs, you got your spine, you got your heart. It's death. Remember Sean Taylor, the football player, shot in the leg and it hit a major artery. Yeah, you're right. But at the end of the day, cops know where those major arteries are. You see what I'm saying? Like, I definitely get where you're coming from. Like, I definitely get where you're coming from. Anonymous released some Trump and Epstein's. Yeah. I mean, they're all on it right now. Oh, all in on it right now. But the thing is, though, we have no option but to ride with whoever is not for those vaccines because we're done for once they mandate those vaccines. They mandate those vaccines, prepare to get your guns and protect your homes, bro. Straight up. Protect your homes at any cost. Anonymous, Trump paid off a 13-year-old female and a few others. Yeah. So Trump was definitely with younger women. I actually have a couple pictures of that. The only thing is, and yes, he's disgusting, sick, foul. And like I honestly want to get rid of all of them. I want to get rid of all of them. But Hillary is killing kids. Hillary is killing them and drinking their blood after raping them. So, you know, like they all need to go. Biden is a pedophile too. The thing is, this country is run by Satanists and pedophiles. All of them are sick, bro. And y'all do me a favor and like this video so it can get out to more people. as effed up as America is there a better option? Bro, to be honestly, the whole world's on fire, my guy. Straight up. But I mean, I do think there are better options out there. It's just they don't want anything to do with American people. That's the thing. Canada is a way better option than America. And remember how like politicians for years tried to talk so down on Canada and how bad Canada is. But ask what the Canadian death rate is. What is the murder rate over there? Not very high. The crime rate isn't even very high. The murder rate in America is higher than the total crime rate in Canada. And guess what? The cops in Canada ain't killing nobody, especially somebody unarmed. They have a taser for a reason. Exactly, bro. Taser them. They like, they say, oh, well, he took the taser or whatever. First of all, he yanked the taser after it was deployed on him, and it was an officer that had another taser. So the other officer did not get to apply a charge before that. He didn't get to apply a charge. So he was able to yank the taser away and continue running. Instead of the other cop reaching for his taser, he reached for his gun and fired 3 shots. No, the first cop dropped the taser. Well, then it was on purpose. All he had to do was pick up the goddamn taser instead of drawing his weapon. The old buddy wasn't even running fast. He wasn't even running fast. You're right. I haven't even heard of Canada being involved in any wars. Exactly. There's no scandals over there. There's no corrupt politicians over there. Like, and for some reason, American politicians hate Canada so much. He's laying down with me. I'm gonna take him. Okay, well, I'm gonna take him in a minute. Can I just cut on my son? No, it's not. Okay, so let me lay him across my lap. All right. Sorry, I was distracted, y'all. But yeah, like I just think it's kind of funny how other cops in other countries are able to do things a certain way, and we just can't do it in America. Like somehow criminals in other countries are just more cooperative with the police. Get the heck out of here. You're like, bro. The funny thing is all these people that are getting shot and killed. Barely any of them have any criminal history, and the ones that do have the slightest criminal history, they blow it up in the media to justify why the cops killed them. They need to put cops through a yes. Not to change the subject, but George Floyd has changed the world. All these states coming down would not be happening if it wasn't for his death. Yeah, you're right. And honestly, I think what was done to George Floyd was very sacrificial. And I think that the reason why they did it was a completely different reason than what it actually caused to happen. Like I think there's people that want to start a race war. We've had 3 hangings within 1 week, and they're all from trees. They were all within the same week. 3 black men were found hanging from trees. And a woman that gave a testimony about her being raped at one of these protests was killed leaving that protest within the same week that the 3 young men were hung from trees. Somebody is trying to start a race war. You know why? Divide and conquer. If all of us are going at each other's necks, if black and white people are all against each other and displaying hatred of each other, it doesn't take much for the government to come by and control the narrative. Willie Lynch came up with divide and conquer, and it's still working to this day. Hundreds of years later, they need to put cops through a test to see what they would do. To be honest, they need to start asking cops in these lie detector tests, are you racist? Are you more likely to kill a black man than a white man? Do you have ulterior motives for being on the force? And if they answer yes, can they bitch ass? Like don't even let them go to the academy. They also need to make sure that these guys that have been bullied in high school or anything like that go through extensive psychiatric evaluation because that stuff takes a toll on you. Like people, I'm 28 years old and I still talk crap about people that I didn't get along with from high school. All of us do it. Well, most men do it anyway. Canada was in the Afghanistan war in 2001 to 2014. Well, he didn't mean literally when he said that. We're just saying that Canada is a lot more peaceful and safe than America is, and they don't have the same issues we have. And if they do, it's a much more watered down and much more contained version of what we have here. I think Floyd was the last straw. When he said, "I can't breathe," it triggered us, woke us up, being stuck in fear from COVID, holding our breath as we saw Black America take the brunt of it. True that. The words were powerful in retaliate in relation to COVID too, and the fact that Eric Gardner was killed the same way. He couldn't breathe. Everyone needs to think of Martin Luther King during this time of racism. Okay, so I agree with you to a certain extent, but then I disagree with you to a certain extent because we've been taking the Martin Luther King approach for years, for decades, for centuries. For centuries, we've been taking the Martin Luther King approach. We've been peaceful about it, and nothing changes. It's insane to continue being peaceful when you're asking not to be murdered in the streets while you're handcuffed. While you're handcuffed. If you're a black man or woman in America, you can be killed while handcuffed. That officer still somehow fears for their life when you're handcuffed. So yeah, Martin Luther King approach ain't gonna work this time, bud. You know they're controlling the virus because half the people protesting aren't even being infected. Exactly. I'm like, bro, all these people out in the streets by each other with their shirts off and all this stuff, and there were no new cases in New York. And at a certain point, New York was having 750, an average of 750 new cases a day. A day. Not taking sides, but what made Floyd death trigger us more than Eric Gardner? So, what made this trigger us even more is the simple fact that it's the position. So, the officer and the behavior of the officer. So, with Eric Gardner, he was laying on his stomach and his arms were behind his back. So there was no, constriction to his neck or anything like that. He just couldn't breathe because he was probably hyperventilating. He had like two or three cops on top of him, so he couldn't breathe. With George Floyd, the man had his knee jammed into his neck, and another officer on the other side of the car, well, on the side of the car where you couldn't really see on the camera, had his knee in his ribs, and his head was pressed against the ground while his neck is being pushed in like this. So his head, like his airways were being completely blocked, and that cop gave this menacing smirk at the camera while he had his hands in his pockets, and he refused to get off of him until the sheriff department, because those were not paramedics. Paramedics never came to the scene. The sheriff department, somebody from the sheriff department had to tap him and ask him to get up. to put him on the gurney. So that's what triggered people more because it was like, nah, y'all doing a little bit too much now. Like that was blatant. We're tired of it. Now we're taking action, you know? And I think it's just also a matter of time. Like how long it's been going on. And the fact that there's been no change. So, it's kind of like you go a day without eating. You're like, okay, I need some food. I'm hungry. You go 2 days. Like, hey, I'm getting hungry, guys. By 3 days, now you're going to eat whatever is available, like whatever you can find. You see what I'm saying? So time takes a toll. Um, let's see. Love MLK, but he wasn't the only person who was a civil rights activist. Exactly. We had Huey P. Newton, which is my frat brother. We've had Malcolm X. But like to be honest, I don't even know why we're doing this because there's plenty out today. And some of them are not opportunists. You know, Candace Owens, screw her. Al Sharpton, screw him. Ben Carson, screw him. Those guys are not civil rights activists. They have an agenda, and they're opportunists. Why do they all have GoFundmes that stay up? Let's see. You have to fight fire with fire. Exactly, Patrick. That's how the French did it, and the French ended up winning. It's time for some Malcolm X types. Exactly, Brandon G. This is deeper than just the police. It's the system. What police do to black men, doctors do to black women. Exactly. Officer on the neck of Floyd was a representation of the knee on the neck on blacks for 400 years. Couldn't have said it better myself. How do you mediate? So when you ask how do you mediate, like by what means do you mean? Like can I get you to elaborate? Because if you're asking what I think you're asking, honestly, it's time for us to start forcing those officers to stop killing black men and black women. Straight up. Connecting with your higher self. Oh, okay. Oh, you mean meditate. Honestly, bro, my meditation is done when I go running and I listen to uplifting music while I run. Lately, I've been listening to Inner City Blues by Marvin Gaye, uh, Trouble Man by Marvin Gaye, just things that are really relatable to what the black man goes through in America, whether it's the upside or the downside. We Gonna Be All Right by Kendrick Lamar, Neighbors by J. Cole, anything that deals with the issues I'm going through right now, and knowing that hey, we have influencers out there that understand what's going on and are not sleep to this whole thing. Because to this day, you still have people that think voting is going to change all this. There's people that believe that all this will change if we vote for the right candidate. When our only options are people that are not for us. Who the heck? Since Trump ain't for us, who the heck that's running against him do you think is for us? Hillary, Joe Biden. First of all, Hillary called black teenagers super predators. Only one that was for black people was Bernie Sanders, and nobody gave a damn about him. People didn't even go vote when it was time to vote while he was running. J. Cole just dropped a track yesterday, Snow on the Bluff. So there's another guy. I think he goes by Consequence or something. He's got this song called it's not Malcolm X. He made a song about the young man who killed 5 police officers in Dallas. think his name was Michael, but he added an X to his name. He had his name legally changed to Michael X. All right, black people should not be going around in the streets and telling the white people to get on their knees and apologize for having slaves when the white people these days don't have slaves. Lucas, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. But that's not. I like honestly. Do you really weigh white people being told to get on their knees and apologize for having slaves? Do you really equate that to the trauma that black people are going through right now? Seeing a bunch of unarmed black men being killed, whether they have handcuffs on, their back is turned, they already have an officer on top of them. I just don't understand how that statement you made right there is relevant to what's going on. And how is that traumatizing compared to what we see on the news every day, which is people that look like us being murdered for no reason? Do y'all remember the man that was like in his early 60s? Okay, bruh, that I don't care about that. I'm sorry. I don't. Like I really don't care about that. Yeah, like after this video is about a man being murdered in the streets, and you're bringing up white people being asked to get on their knees and apologize for slavery. Yeah, and I haven't heard of it. I'm pretty sure if this was happening, it would be on the news, my guy. I haven't seen any coverage of people asking white people to get on their knees and apologize for slavery. But then again, I mean, look what the country does to us. We're being held accountable for some stuff we've never done. How do you hold somebody accountable for their skin color? Why doesn't that bother you, bro? You tripping, dog. If an officer can be in fear of his life from a civilian and pull a gun, what option does a civilian have of the if the roles are reversed? Exactly. I don't like Biden, but honestly, I'd take anyone other than Trump. Yeah, like, bro, I don't know what he's talking about. I've never heard of a black person making white people bow down and apologize for slavery. I haven't seen that. I don't know what you're talking about. Let me ask you this: why on job applications and in college applications do they ask you your race and ethnicity and religion? Why do they ask that? Why do they ask you what color you are on job applications and in college applications? If it's illegal to discriminate against somebody for their race, you can't deny somebody a job because of their race. So why the hell do you need that information? Do you know that black people 9 times out of 10 don't get callbacks after filling out applications? 9 times out of 10, they're going to choose the white applicant over the black applicant. Or is that just a statistic that slipped your mind? Because somewhere you've seen or you claim to have seen a black man telling a white person to bow down and apologize for slavery. I've never seen that, bro. Never. And the fact still remains, even if it did happen, why is that a bigger issue than black men and women being killed while unarmed? over simple things like broken taillights, failure to signal, falling asleep in your car, rushing your daughter that's having an asthma attack to the hospital. By the way, the little girl that was having an asthma attack, yeah, she was killed too because the officer got on the goddamn hood of the car and fired hundreds of bullets into the fucking car. And you're asking me about somebody making white people bow down and apologize for slavery? You kidding me? Pick your battles, dog. One protest, white allies wanted to do this as a gesture. They felt guilty. We never asked them to. If they want to do that, it's their freedom to do so. Like and honestly, like I honestly feel like everything that's being done is they're trying to show that there's unity between black people and white people. And like we've black people have never once asked to be treated as superiors. And in the past, we've never even asked to be treated equally. In the past, we were fighting for civil rights, not equal rights, civil rights. Black people didn't make them do that, Lucas. You tripping, dog. Like where in that news clip did it say yes, I saw all the white people doing a silent protest on their knee. You did not see any black people standing up over them saying, get on your knees and apologize. Like, bro, you really believe that a group of black people just went to a group of white people and punked them into taking a knee and apologizing for slavery? That's not how it happened, bro. And Fox News has always been fake. Thank you, Patrick. No, I've never said all cops are bad. I have relatives that are cops. Do I think all the ones that shoot unarmed black men are bad? Yeah, I do. A bunch of conservatives acting like they know what they're talking about. Yeah, bro. Like I'm like, you really like? Do you really think that black people that have been protesting alongside with white people ever since the death of George Floyd decided to turn to the white people that are protesting with them and getting tear gassed and shot with rubber bullets, decided to turn around and look at them and say, hey, by the way, I want you to get on a knee and apologize for slavery. John Little, nobody gives a damn what you think. I'm not approving that comment. Tread lightly or you will be blocked. And you're saying look it up. Like, bro, I've seen it. The white people that were doing it also had signs. Signs they themselves wrote. They're protesting for black people. Black people did not force them onto their knees. Unless you can show me a video of black men and women uh, holding a gun to their heads and saying, y'all better pray for forgiveness and all this stuff. Y'all better apologize. Man, get on with that. And at the end of the day, the fact still remains. Even if that outrageous claim were true, how does it outweigh the fact that black people that are unarmed are being killed for no reason at an alarming rate? Bro, I don't care, Lucas. And I was talking to John Little. But yeah, you can get blocked too, bro. I don't care about losing a Twitch follower. Do you really think I give a fuck about Twitch right now? We're talking about something that's happening to my people. I have to worry about when is my son going to be seen as a threat? And you're talking about Twitch? Bro, I don't have to block you. You can get the fuck on. John Little, you're blocked. Dude's bringing up like, bro, how silly is that? You're one person. Hey, matter of fact, since Lucas wants to be funny, go ahead and put I in the chat if you'll replace him as a follower on my Twitch. Oh, he hell. Yeah, bro, like he tripping. Appreciate that, King Dowdle. Y'all really making this man mad and he trying to speak about real world problems. Yeah, like, bro, what is he doing? I appreciate that, Jay Jean. Let me go ahead and get that link for you. Lucas, you could dismiss yourself, bitch ass nigga. Appreciate all of you guys for that. And Brandon G is actually one of my Patreon members. Talking about you block me, you lose a Twitch. Man, I don't care about none of that. It was like, bro, you dude's tripping, bro. So first of all, you just added an R to that, and that's not what I said. And how can I be a racist after using the N word, you dumbass? The N word has never been used to insult any race other than black people. So no, I can't be a racist for using it. Not only that, racist is systematic. A man that does not have systematic control and economic control cannot be a racist. I cannot be a racist. By the definition of the word, I cannot be a racist. My people have never once believed, never shown signs or proven to believe in the control of our race over someone else's race. So how in the world can I be a racist? You're blocked, Lucas. I love it. See, that's why I love doing streams like this, because the people that claim to be supporters of me, but are really just subscribed because of the goofy videos I do, they show their true colors whenever I get to talking about real stuff. Good riddance. Dude thought what did he want me to do? Tap dance for a Twitch follow? Bro, you kidding me? Like, bro, and the funny thing is I've seen the video he's talking about, bro. The black people were on a knee with them. There was a bunch of people on a knee. That was for Colin Kaepernick. The signs literally said, "I it's wrong for me to kneel, but it wasn't wrong for them to kneel, or whatever." And there's a picture of Colin Kaepernick on one side and a picture of that officer on the other, saying that America was okay with one but not the other. Well, bro, I don't understand foolish people. But anyways, as I was saying, because I really let that dude distract me. This that like, and let me clear this up because like now I'm way off track. For starters, oppressed people cannot be racist. We can't. It is systematic. We do not control the courtroom because there's a significantly larger amount of white judges than black judges. Most juries are significantly are they're predominantly white. Most police officers are white. Most bailiffs are white. Most representatives of Supreme Court are white. Most governors are white. Most politicians are white. We've literally had one president that wasn't white. So how in the world can a black man be racist? Could I be prejudiced? Yeah, I could. I'm not, but I could be. My auntie, who was like a mother figure to me, is white. She's Caucasian. Foolishness, man. But yeah, let's not kill the mood. Let's continue with the topic because these things help. And I honestly feel like anybody with a platform should be using their platform for this topic. Whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, this is something that needs to be talked about because black people aren't the only ones in danger. Are our numbers of casualties higher? Yeah. But at the end of the day, bro, they're not just against us, they're against all of us, everyone. Black men and women are just the easier target because we've already been criminalized in America. Please, please don't let old dude like have stopped the momentum of this stream. Shoot. Raised by a white woman, I can tell you, I never once saw racism on the black side. Certainly saw it, a lot of it on the white side. This is 36 years of experience. Hey, showing us the setup with the new equipment. Oh yeah, so uh, I actually been dabbling with it because I cannot get the chip, the card to read for some odd reason. But I actually have to wait until I get my new apartment to give y'all the full effect of it because I'm gonna have to actually have a whole separate room, like for my I guess my YouTube station or whatever, or my media station, because I know there's no way I'll possibly find enough space in in my room that I share with my girlfriend to set all this stuff up. But yeah, this is the new camera. This is the new toy. So take the lens off. And I got this tripod that I can hold with my hands. And I can set it up at any point. But when I turn it on, focus lens comes out, and then that's for the flash. But I have a card reading error right now, so it hasn't been doing what I needed to. But yeah, paid a pretty penny for it. But yeah. Hey, y'all give me your thoughts and feedback on the topic. I for one am very happy that that officer is facing the death penalty because he had every intention of taking that man's life. I mean, it just became more and more apparent what he was gonna do as I watched him make this man basically tap dance and do all this stuff that was not going to prove his sobriety at all. And the officer knew he wasn't he knew he wasn't gonna ever let him go. He knew he was gonna place handcuffs on him from the start. So at the end of the day, why had that man go through all that? He was looking for a reason. He was looking for a reason to take that man's life away. And I mean, nobody can convince me otherwise. Nobody can convince me otherwise. Because at the end of the day, you don't even have to arrest somebody if they can find somebody else to come take them home. He wasn't seen driving the vehicle. He was seen parked in the vehicle, and he was asked by the officer to pull into a parking space. So if they can legally get him with a DWI for that, he was set up by that other officer. That officer made him drive the car out the line, which he shouldn't have been asleep there in the first place. But at the end of the day, you didn't catch him, you didn't pull him over. His car was already stopped. His car was already stopped. They could have allowed him to call somebody to come pick him up. He did not have to be detained for that. You can't call it public intoxication because he was in his car. And he wasn't expressing any erratic behavior. He showed no signs that he was a threat. He wasn't disrespectful to the officer. He was a complete gentleman. He was very kind, very respectful. He did everything he was asked to do, and he still lost his life. So, yeah, I definitely believe that those police officers deserve, like, honestly, both of them should be doing life for it. Both of them should be doing life for it. I honestly wish I had more of my moderators in here just to make sure. But hey, I appreciate everybody that came in here and showed some class during this whole thing because as you guys can see, it's very easy for people to get out of pocket, especially when it's something, whenever there's a trigger. Some people don't really like to be shown the truth if they know the truth kind of reflects negatively on their beliefs. But my thing is he got that mad because he felt like the cop was justified. Lucas Gobel or whoever that guy was, he was angry with me for speaking on this because he felt that the officer was correct. I definitely will do that, bro. I'll make Patrick a moderator too because he's been here for a while. But yeah, like there's no way he would have had a reaction like that if he agreed with what I was saying. He completely changed the topic from me talking about a man that unjustly lost his life and started saying black people don't need to be having white people get on their knees and apologize for slavery when nobody today has slaves. And first of all, that was false because in Syria and in Libya there are slaves. There's black slaves in the world right now. There's pictures of it. There's videos of it. Say something, Brandon, so I can see if you're a moderator now. I need to figure out how to get my comments on the display screen like some of these bigger channels do. Hey, Patrick and Brandon, go ahead and type some. I mean, yeah, type something so I can see if you have the toolbar yet, or the wrench. Let's see if the moderation worked. Oh, I just noticed that Patrick said that, and that's facts. Patrick said, "How can he be a racist against his own race?" Exactly. Okay, bet. Brandon, you live in Dallas? Wait a minute, we know each other, don't we? I keep tripping on that. Let me look. I'm sure we've had this discussion before. I draw blanks too much. Let's see. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I know we had that discussion before. But yeah, I live in Dallas right now. But yeah, hey, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream, and I'm gonna start another stream tomorrow where we could all just chop it up because I really don't want people to like get on this stream and then I'm completely off topic. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. But I appreciate everybody that got on and participated. I'll definitely be back on here tomorrow. What's up, Jaden? All right, I'll fit in out.